What is the meaning of this title? Am I about to watch a video on getting in touch with mine own spirituality and using it to guide me to a successful life? You may cry. And to that I say, yeah, Devil May Cry 2. We ain't even a minute into this video, folks, and I know you subscribing up at... Where'd you go? Alright, down to business. Spiritual Success is the series to kick off my channel, so put on your party hats. We'll be taking a look at games and their spiritual successes, or just loosely tied together games. Some guy made them both, I don't know. These games will be pitted against each other in a vicious gladiatorial brawl to the death, and whoever wins will gain glory and riches beyond their wildest... What's that? What do you mean we don't have the budget for that? What? Who's Ridley Scott? How long ago? Well, whatever, let's just critique it, I don't care.
Beck, you and Trinity possess the same power. She simply does not understand how to wield it. You must teach her how to control it.
I understand, Professor. I'll do it. I'll save Trinity.
I know you will, Beck. I know you will.
Today, I'll be taking a look at how the newest game from Keiji Inafune, did I say that right? Keiji? Mighty No.9 stacks up against the giant whose shoulders it's attempting to stand on, Megaman. And if you know anything about Mighty No.9, then you know that this is going to get ugly. Mighty No.9 was a crowd-funded game, with Keiji Inafune at the helm, a man who worked as an illustrator and character designer for the original Megaman titles. In the Kickstarter back in 2013, Inafune and his pals at Concept were pledging to bring about a new game that would see a return to the old Mega Man ways, literally a spiritual successor. Since Mega Man fans have been waiting for something like this since the Earth was thought to be flat, naturally, this Kickstarter annihilated its goal and thus Mighty No.9 was conceived. The project would meet no end of controversy and difficulties for a whopping 3 years, whilst in its proverbial womb. That worried many eager fans and backers alike. It only recently saw the light of day to very mediocre responses. In case you're unfamiliar with Mega Man, it was originally a game released for the NES in 1987. Oh god, get that out of here. What the fuck is that? Get that out of here. Jesus. One of the first games Capcom developed specifically for the home console. Inafune was a fresh-faced college graduate when he was assigned to the team working on Mega Man. The now formulaic gameplay had the player choosing the stage they wanted to play through by picking the Robot Master from the stage select and defeating each boss to gain their power. Each Robot Master was weak to one of the powers in the game if the player could just figure out which one it was. The Mega Man series had too many installments to count, with the original series going up to Mega Man 10 and a second Mega Man series known as Mega Man X having 8 numbered titles as well. The franchise began to get pretty stale towards the end of its run, and planned games were even cancelled after fan interest just didn't seem to be there for our blue brief-wearing robot. Not to mention, Inafune, one of the biggest supporters of the franchise within the company, departed in 2010. Now the franchise is merely looked back on fondly by fans of the series with a "what if" at the back of their minds. This, however, was not good enough for Keiji Inafune. He believed he could replicate the cult classic. Revive it, almost. But Inafune didn't go all mercy olds on Mighty No.9, no. Inafune is fit for the role of Frankenstein in this freak show. On the surface, Mighty No.9 seems like it could fit right in as a direct Mega Man sequel, with a few name changes and a lick of paint. You've got the 8 different stages, all with their own robot mighty numbers, that all have a unique power. Beck claims as a prize for defeating his fallen brethren. Beck, you must assimilate the other numbers to save them. Yeah, let me just assimilate that sweet-ass flamethrower right from your skull. You've even got a fembot sidekick that matches the same naming system Mega Man had with rock and roll. Beck and Call. Hey, check out young Bob Ross and Peter Griffin over here. You guys doing okay over there in the 6th dimension? Did the cardboard boxes already exist there, or did you bring your own? I mean, was this lab design intentional? I know we're supposed to be in some future shit show, but wait, it's the present year? This whole thing stinks of lazy design. And once you begin to spend some time with the game, the cracks definitely start to show. Okay, so Mega Man's story has always been just like... There's Dr. Light on the blow, and Mega Man answers it with his VR headset, and Dr. Light is all, quickly Rock, because that's what he calls him. Dr. Wily has taken over these robots I created, and now you, a robot I created, need to put a stop to his villainous ways. Then Mega Man's all like, I'll do my best, Dad, because that's what he calls him. Mega Man beats the robots, takes their powers, fights his way to Wily, and beats him too. You don't even get all that exposition in the original game without the booklet or the back cover of the box. The game would just load and be all, then hey, choose your stage please, and bloop, off you go, little Timmy, off on your first day of school. Don't let the bullies take your lunch money, and don't fall down any bottomless pits to your certain demise. Especially that last one, don't do that. You didn't need a story because you just wanted to play a game. You were there for the challenging stages and the cool power-ups and rad bosses. The story was a formality so you could get to the good stuff. At least in the original NES titles. Mighty No. 9, on the other hand, tried to implement more of a story from the get-go, which is a given for modern-day games, granted. I mean, it's not like they tried to make a Last of Us in the side-scroller shooter genre or anything, but the story is there. Just about. The whole plot is that there is a virus infecting all the robots and making them hostile, including the Mighty Numbers. The predecessors to Beck, I think? It's never really clear whether the numbers are significant to their power or not. The game starts with a narrator spouting exposition, but once again I can't help but feel like this is lazy design. We're talking about a video game here. There are better ways to convey information to the audience than the Star Fox method, dude.
Pigma Dangar.
For example, Cherry Dynamics, the company whose robots are going batshit insane, are blaming Dr. Blackwell, a scientist apparently imprisoned for previous indiscretions. What if this story took place a while after this initial incident occurred, and Dr. White is finally able to find Beck, who's been in a dormant state? Then during the city tutorial level, there could be graffiti sprayed around saying, "Blame Blackwell, Lord. Cherry Dynamics did this to us." Something subtle that gives the player something to intrigue them. I don't know. The game has a whole lot of cutscenes, which sort of baffles me considering what it's trying to build off of. In a Mega Man successor, I want to run around and shoot things, not listen to one-dimensional characters spew lines as dismal as they're writing in the Batman and Robin film.
Let's kick some ice.
Am Ice glad to see you?
To its credit, these scenes are easily skipped, and again, they're not on Naughty Dog narrative level. Far from it. It's a minor point, but come on, dude, know your audience. I truly believe the team behind this game didn't know who they wanted to market it to. The writing is littered with jokes that would barely make an 8-year-old do that weird breathy laugh that comes from your nose. But this is in stark contrast to the gameplay and level design. Frustrating enemy placement and areas that require pixel-perfect precision or stages that are literally a memory game with insta-deaths everywhere. But Mega Man had that too, so spiritual successor, instant classic, Inafune we did it, guys, we did it right. Better than nothing. At the end of the game, you even get to play a stage as Call, Beck's counterpart, that can't dash or absorb things, has a slower buster shot, and can't use any abilities apart from a barrier that does nothing against half the goddamn enemies in the level. Pacing is completely slowed down compared to the Beck sections, and even the stage's boss is slow and easy. It's boring. Call? Well, like, call yourself an Uber, because I'm out of here. Seriously, who is this game's target audience? Even the marketing campaign was tragic and so clearly out of touch with the people they were relying on to buy this thing, and people who probably backed the Kickstarter, it's almost charming.
And make the bad guys cry like an anime fan on prom night.
Almost. But what made Mega Man's game design better by comparison? Some of the issues already raised in Mighty No. 9 are shared by the Mega Man series. Hell, even a few of Mega Man's positives Mighty No. 9 has too, like its tight controls. Personally, I'd like to put this gap in quality down to what I'm just gonna group up as game feel. A lot of things combine to make the Mega Man experience fun and memorable for fans of the series. The music has always been pretty solid since Mega Man's inception. Robot Masters usually had simple but effective designs, and the fights were always something unique to the Mega Man franchise. The Robot Masters were the mysterious bosses you had to fight your way to in each level for their cool abilities. They were mysterious because you only saw their names and pictures going on each stage, and they didn't even speak. You never had a, "Well, Mega Man, at last we meet. I see you had no trouble in dispatching my minions. Well, for Dr. Wily, I will crush you." No, dude. They just struck a pose and started to fight you. They meant business. Compare this to Mighty No. 9, where every Mighty Number is apparently a close friend of Beck's, and a lot of them are having open dialogue with Beck throughout the stage. Now, don't get me wrong, the fact that they speak to you isn't the issue I have with the boss characters. In fact, it canonically makes sense because they know each other. However, because the writing for this game is so poor, these interactions are just weak, dude, and I'm usually just glad to stop them from speaking to me anymore. On top of all this, the Mega Man art style is interesting and colorful. I mean, sure, maybe not in the NES games as much because, well, look at that. But in the later ones, it certainly improved. The character designs were always cool too, man. For example, Dr. White and Wily were based off of Santa Claus and Dr. Einstein, respectively. You got the jolly and gentle scientist, who helps out the protagonist. And you got the mad scientist with his crazy robots. It works. These are simple, yet strong designs to represent what the characters are. Whereas when you take the main character designs for Mighty Number 9, you got fucking Peter Griffin, a young Bob Ross, and a guy that looks like Cranky Kong or some fucking shit.
Ooh, look at that. Look at that.
On the other hand, Mighty Number 9's art style is really nothing special. Let's ignore the fact that the graphics of this game don't even look like this side of 2010, because we are comparing it to the NES era games. The style just looks bland. Probably how I would describe this whole game, to come to think of it. There's really nothing to excite the palate here. So I could go on for a bit longer and touch upon a few smaller things, but it would pretty much bring us to the same conclusion. Mighty Number 9 is bland. It is to Mega Man style games what tikka masala is to curry dishes. Average, sheet, not even authentic in its origins. The question I'd like to pose here would be whether a game in question is worthy of succeeding to the throne and carrying the torch for the original series. But I think we all know the answer to that one. So instead, I would like to ponder this. Will we ever see a true spiritual successor to Mega Man? Or will any game that wishes to actually be a spiritual successor have to really innovate the subgenre into something above and beyond what fans believe they want? Or is it simply time for us to hang up on Mega Busters and call it a day? I'd love to hear your views on it. So if you have something to weigh in, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Or not, thanks for watching, and subscribe if you want more of this creamy goodness inside your box. Subscription box, that is. I'm not a